Hi, everybody. This is Rajul Shah from Purple Octopus Art. We are a platform for art and writing as it applies to human disease. We are firm believers that art helps us to heal and cope with our challenges in life. And today we have an artist, Katie Linsky Shaw, who won the Platinum Award for our latest online exhibition called The Blue Dot. The Blue Dot was all about art related to climate change. And so welcome, Katie. Happy to.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Um, Katie, I wanted to really, there's three questions for you, and we'll go to your artwork in just a second. But first, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself, how you became an artist, how long you've been creating, and yeah, where you want to keep going?
Okay. Yeah, I started in, I'm a photographer, so I started in photography in college. And after I graduated, worked for newspapers and freelancing um, as a reporter and photographer, and kept doing that. Had kids, opened a portrait photography business, and um, kept freelancing on the side. And then I guess a couple of years ago, um, my father had just passed away, and my mother got really sick with cancer. So I was taking care of her. She moved in with us until she died. And right after she died, I thought it's time to get back into life and do what I've always done, take care of everybody else. And then I realized I'm not okay. And I thought I need to take a break and really focus on myself. I'd already been working on a side photography project on the youth mental health crisis. And I was ready to jump back into that. And that's when I thought, okay, I need to focus on my own mental health for a little bit. And I don't know if you can hear all these noises outside.
Really
Um,
fun.
and I'd always loved fine art photography. I kind of dabbled in it a little bit. And I had this one idea in my head of the sandwich generation, middle aged adults who are taking care of their own children and their parents at the same time. So that was my first fine art self portrait, mental health self portrait photo. And as I started looking at my own mental health, I decided to create this series with each photo, with me in it, but each photo focused on one area of my mental health. And so this image, the climate change recycling image, is really focused on the stress I think we all feel from climate change recycling. It's, the media, constant daily reports of the earth is on fire, this is happening. And every time we go to throw away something, I don't know if you feel like this, it's, oh, is my plastic container going to be the one that pushes us over the edge, or is this, am I doing all I can do to save the earth? So that's how that started.
Yeah, I can definitely identify with you. I instead we have a garbage disposal here in our house,
Mm-hmm.
but whenever I'm chopping vegetables or even peeling carrots, I don't throw the scraps in the garbage disposal or in the trash.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have this area outside my house, way back in the yard.
Uh-huh.
Basically, I just throw it all there because I'm like, well, it's better than it ending up in the trash. Like,
Right.
and then of course I have dreams of maybe 15 years there'll be a mango tree there or something, but who knows?
Yeah.
But
Right.
um anyway, I can totally identify with you and I'm sure everyone else can because it is an overwhelming issue in our world today. And I know if you have kids, they're especially attuned to all of it. And
Right.
when I was young, growing up in elementary school, our main anxiety had to do with the Cold War and the amount of nuclear weapons everyone had, and listening to Sting saying, "I hope Russians love their children too." And I think for this generation, definitely it's the climate and wondering what kind of future they're going to have with their children. So thank you again for your beautiful artwork. And I know this is a slight digression, but the fact that you also turn to art for your overall mental health and to help you grieve, um, that is also, I think, an important point for us to note in that it is, if you're an artist, it is your way of escaping and
Right.
healing and renewing yourself. So thank
Right.
you for sharing that. And I apologize, my sympathies about your mother.
Thank you.
Um, so let me share the screen and take you to your artwork. So this, as I said, um, Katie Linsky Shaw won our Platinum Award, which is our highest award for her artwork in this online exhibition. And I I know, as when the jurors and I saw this image, we in addition to identifying with it immediately, um, we also laughed at ourselves because
Uh-huh.
I just felt like, oh yeah, that is the look I have when like, what do I do now? How do I do that? What is my drop in the bucket gonna do? Um,
Right.
and I love the title, "I'm Trying, Mother Nature," signed me and my eco anxiety. So tell us about this photo, and I'm going to enhance it just a bit. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know that that was an actual term, eco anxiety, until I got online and researched it and just kind of typed that into the search bar. And sure enough, it's like you said, I think more people deal with it than we know. So this whole image was set up in my garage, and everything, the back wall is these cardboard the pieces that come in when I order photos from the printing company. They all come in on these cardboard things. And again, I have so many of them and I don't want to just toss them. So they stack up in my office. I'm probably a bit of a hoarder because I want to save everything and reuse everything. But I started there. I made the dress out of paper towels because it's kind of a joke in my family. I hate using paper towels because, again, I'm afraid I'm being wasteful. And so my sons and my husband always give me a hard time because I'm always trying to use little towels, but we never have what we need when we need it. And so we're always out of paper towels. The pillow was made out of packing material that came in with the photos I ordered. And it has a bow. Yes, it has a bow made out of plastic shopping bags.
Wow.
And the flower on my hat is also made from that. Um,
Wow.
yeah. And so I was trying to reuse everything. The little Polaroids on the side, those are photos that I took. I was on a girls' trip to the beach in South Carolina, and I went walking by myself one morning, and these are all of the things that had washed ashore. Every from a tampon to this is the bottom corner is a battery that was leaking into the sand.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the floppy disk in the top right corner, which it's been a while since we've seen those. So I just started taking photos of that too. And I put those in a collage, and that's what's one of the things hanging on the back of the wall. And then the rest of the printouts are just headlines about climate change, the things that I think add to our eco anxiety. It's you get online and it's everything we're doing wrong and what's happening to our planet. So yeah, and part of this series, each image has a QR code on it. And if you scan the QR code, it'll take you to a website with more information about that mental health topic. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so if you scan the,
Um,
I think I see two QR codes in this
ah,
image. And if you scan those, it'll take you to a page. And I think I've got links about um, what you can do to recycle and then also funny things about it. So just kind of a way to extend the viewing experience past just this image. So,
I I have to say, I mean, every time I look at this painting, I see something else. I see something different. Um, but the QR codes I would never have really guessed. And I was curious because I was going to ask you about this.
uh-huh.
I have to I my admiration for you in terms of how much you thought, how much thoughtfulness went into creating this piece.
I guess I wanted to create something where people wouldn't just look at it and walk on by. I wanted to in some way reach out to them beyond the image so that they can get more information. Some of my other pieces in the mental health series are about grief or my childhood OCD. And I wanted, if people had more questions, I wanted to provide them with a place to go to get that information.
I
So
lo- I love that. I really love that.
thank you.
Um, I'm going to tell you what my favorite element of
Mhm.
this is. And then I want to hear what yours is. Uh,
Okay.
so my favorite element of this whole collage, as I kept looking, is the fact that you're drinking out of can and I can't a green bean can.
Yes. Yeah.
And
And
I
the
and I
straw is made out of paper also.
I mean, and my head immediately went to there was a movie, there was actually a remake of it, but the original had Patrick Swayze and it was called Red Dawn.
Yes. That's funny you said that because when you mentioned earlier about our generation being scared of the Cold War, it was that movie that always frightened me.
Yeah, yeah. But the fact that when you are under crisis,
Mhm.
the only food you can really store that will last a year, 2 years are canned foods.
Uh-huh.
And so I found it really interesting that, if we're in trouble as a climate and we have to, I don't know,
Uh-huh. I
go,
hadn't thought of that side of it. That's
yeah, like
interesting.
go live underground, like that Ray Bradbury book from
Yes.
months ago, where we're all living underground and we only come up one day of a year because of the acid rain or something.
Right.
That is where my head went. But
That's
I
great.
I love the Amazon box and you know, what is that? It to e-waste question mark.
Oh, yes.
Every time I look at this, I see something new. So congratulations, because it really is such an effective piece. And I know you have also participated in one of our other online exhibitions. Uh,
Yes.
and forgive me because I can't remember which one it is at the moment, but I remember your
I think
work.
it was the childhood OCD one, I think. I believe so.
Um, you know what? While we're here, maybe I can go to that one as well. Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. So this was the second image in the series I did, and I felt like a lot of people can relate um, to this. I sat down. I was trying to figure out how to illustrate just the constant thoughts that are in your head that just back and forth. And so I sat down for about 10 minutes and wrote down everything that popped in my head. And
Wow.
that's everything that's in the image in the background. So if you start, I mean, you can actually walk up to it and read. And it's everything from, is my dog upset because I didn't walk him this morning? I mean, who worries about that too? I hope my son's friends like me and think I'm a cool mom too. I mean, just every random thought that pops in your head. Um, and just how it's just a constant exhausting thing. So I was trying to, I know it's been described as runaway brain. So I was trying to think, how can I do a runaway on my head? So this is actually, I hung the tracks from the ceiling in my son's room and stood under them. And
Wow. And what is this
so
a
um, that is, it's like a broken record. So if your brain's constantly going, it's
right.
just over and over again, the same thoughts.
And this is the other piece of it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So yeah.
Amazing.
So again, QR code takes you to the
Wow.
site, which I
Oh,
think it's probably more funny writing, but it also, that page also includes ways to just kind of tips for slowing your brain and kind of relaxing and being in the moment.
that's wonderful. Katie, I love your work.
You.
It's amazing. What else can we know about you as an artist? Where can someone find your work other than on purpleoctopusart.com? Where can someone who wants to reach out to you learn more about you? How can they get in touch with you?
I have a site through. Do you want me to give you the
Yeah.
site? It's Katie Linsky Shaw. I actually have to look it up. It's through. Let's see here. It's Katie Linsky Shaw dot Visura Visura dot co, and that has a lot of my photojournalistic work, but then also um, the main thing I'm working on now is I also have a web page I've set up about the youth mental health crisis. Our family experienced that with one of our children, just going through that process. Um, and so I really wanted to create a website that shared stories about youth mental health, the problems, how resources for getting help. So I'm constantly adding to that. So yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. And everyone, again, this was Katie Linsky Shaw, an award-winning photographer, image maker, mental health advocate, mother. Um, so thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.